celebrating all of the great ways that you guys show good character throughout the day in your classrooms. And I just want to point out one thing. Today is Miss Davis's last Leaf in the Forest of Virtue ceremony with us, as she will be retiring at the end of the year. This is her 44th time presenting Leaves in the Forest of Virtue.
hoping to get someone to bite, but not one person was to be made into a statue. It just doesn't make any sense.
No one ever seems to be interested in my power. What? Are you kidding? You're the green pen. You can produce pens at will. I mean, pens. That's very cool.
Actually, due to increased paperless bookkeeping, wireless technology, and digital media, the use of pens has dropped 47% in the last decade.
It would be nice to make some new friends. We're trying, aren't we? But there's just something wrong with everyone else.
I talked for 30 minutes about the deeds I've done. I showed them 90 pictures of the prize I've won. What they said was boring, so I changed the subject fast. But now I just can't figure why our friendship didn't last.
Social skills. They clearly don't have social skills. I mean, we're superheroes, can't they see? Why don't they all be friends with me?
When people's reactions are what you intend and the same things keep happening over again, you might want to look at the things that you do. The problem might be starting with you.
Impossible! Hey look, someone's coming.
Is it my sidekick? I must become invisible. Boom!
Hello, we are from the ISS. The ISS is the International Space Station, an artificial satellite in low Earth orbit.
Yes, but we're from a different ISS. We represent the International Society for Superheroes.
We've been sent here to help some superheroes. There's one of you a freeze frame. That would be me. And how about green pen?
Pen, that's green pen.
Sorry, it must be a typo.
Does that mean you can't make pants? I sort of promised my wife I'd bring her home a new non-stick skillet. No, I make pens.
Here.
No thanks.
You are clearly Infoblast, and this must be Captain Invisible.
You can't see me, I'm invisible.
Not really.
I am so. I thought you might be my sidekicks.
Where are your sidekicks? It says here you all have sidekicks. Not Infoblast. My sidekick disappeared in 2009 for some reason. Just when I was in the middle of my month-long speech of little facts about beetles. The rest of our sidekicks are, at lunch. So you're not getting along with them either? Who told you that? We've been sent here because we're getting reports that you're not mixing well with the general population.
That's not our fault.
It's not a matter of blame. You just need to learn some social skills.
Some people have a knack for math or writing or music. Some people are more naturally gifted at social skills than others.
But that's okay, because you can learn social skills just like you can learn any other skill or subject. And learning to communicate better will help you in all aspects of your life.
So we're here to help. Think of us as your tutors.
We have some homework for you to do in order to improve.
Not homework!
You'll see, it will be fun. It's more like a quest. We're sending you out to have conversations with complete strangers.
That'll be easy. I always like to see admiring looks on new faces.
Alrighty then. Here you go. Yeah, specific social skills you can practice in order to improve. It may take a while to get there, but you can learn this stuff. And remember, you don't have to be friends with everyone. You should always try to be friendly. Do you think they can do it?
I don't know, but they have a long way to go. Better get going.
I wonder how InfoBlast is doing. I did brilliantly, of course. I ran into a marching band and had a splendid conversation. Ah, here they are. So how was that? Did you find it fascinating? Well, to be honest, I didn't really feel like you were listening to what I said. Yeah, you kept interrupting me and saying things that had nothing to do with what I was saying at all. Really? But what I have to say is so interesting, and I just love to share everything I know.
That may be true, but a conversation is about give and take. When you just talk without listening, it feels to the other person like you don't care what they're saying.
Really? So what am I supposed to do then? Listen. Pay attention. That's the way to have a conversation. Listen, nod and smile. Ask a question that's worthwhile. It's not hard to show you care. You just have to be aware. When you hear what people say, you'll respond in the right way. Come on, let's go. Our sidekicks might see us out here.
Not yet. We have to wait to see how we did with the store clerks.
What do you mean? We were great. I told them everything about me.
Yeah, me too. But after a while, they kind of got a blank stare, you know?
Of course they did. That's what happens when you're in the presence of awesomeness. Hey, look. So they come.
Excuse me, I know it was just a couple of minutes, but I was wondering how you thought our conversation went.
Was it really just a couple of minutes? Well, I thought for sure it's time to close up for the day.
Are you sure we didn't talk for hours? I heard all about your superpowers. I even know your shoe size.
You both seemed cool and really gifted, but as you talked, I sort of lost interest. There wasn't much room for me on the conversation.
You need to think when you are talking. Don't let your mouth do all the work. Think about who you're talking to. Is it a good buddy or someone you just met? Tell a little by yourself and soon you'll have a new friend.
Really? I hate doing projects. I just want to free stuff. There you are. I'm your sidekick. Why are you avoiding me? Why? Because your fault. I can't beat people unless they ask. Don't blame me. You kept freezing me and everyone else just for fun. It wasn't nice. No wonder the ISS took away some of your power. How was I supposed to know you didn't like being frozen? You didn't notice my frowns, my groans? No. How about when I screamed and tried to run away? I thought you had been bitten by a gopher. Every day? You really need to learn to read body language.
You can't argue with body language. That funny look is not a ruse. You can't argue with body language. Social cues are helpful clues.
I can't believe it. My own sidekick. I'm sorry. It was an accident. What happened? I just used a computer. A computer? How do you accidentally use a computer? He's a little bit sensitive these days. Quick, hide me. My sidekick spotted me. I thought you could turn invisible. Oh yeah, follow. I see you there. No, you're not fooling anyone. You're not invisible. I am so. No one can see me. Everyone can you're such an angry sidekick these days. I hate conflict. Of course I'm angry. All us sidekicks are fed up. You superheroes say the meanest things to us. Yeah, the other day you told me I was wearing the ugliest sweater in the universe. I was just giving you my truthful opinion. Don't let it bother you, Meredith. Opinions are facts. It's statistically likely that someplace in this universe there is an uglier sweater than yours. That's not the point. You guys don't need to mention every little flaw. But we thought you'd appreciate our honesty.
Not always. You don't have to lie or be falsely sweet, but you don't want to be hurtful either.
Honesty is good. Honesty is great. But honestly, some honesty can wait.
Honesty is good, but please be aware that often it's more helpful not to share.
Honesty is good. Please don't be misled. Sometimes the truth is better left unsaid.
Now I get it. If you want to make friends, you have to think about their feelings. Yeah, like whether they like getting frozen all the time. Don't start that again.
Go ahead. You start. I feel lucky today. I think you're going in for a whipping.
Well, I suppose it could happen. They're bound to win once every decade or so.
Hi there, young fellow. Why don't you have a seat? You can play the winner.
By which he means me. Say, why are you just like that?
What's this? Oh, I'm Captain Invisible.
A superhero. Well then, Captain, what brings you to a little park here today?
Everything's a mess. My sidekick hates me. My superhero team is falling apart, and nobody wants to be my friend.
Can you just become invisible?
It's a long story.
Listen, Sonny, you can't just run and hide when things get a little tough.
Sure, you can survive a little conflict. Why the two of us have been playing shepherds for 40 years. We've had our own share of disagreements.
We work through them, and you can too.
Conflict. Sometimes you'll find it's just a part of life. You can't hide from conflict, so learn to work things out.
Take responsibility for what you do and say. Stop and think and talk things through, and you will be okay.
Friends can fight and disagree and everything looks sour. Apologize. Say you're sorry. You realize that that's a superpower.
I'm sorry I got mad about the computer. Pens just aren't cool these days.
But you can't. You're a superhero.
I give up.
But you can't. You're a superhero. And the world needs superheroes.
But nobody needs pens.
Hey, did you say you were some kind of superhero? Yeah, what can you do?
Not much.
Can you fly?
No.
Can you jump over tall buildings?
No.
Far buildings?
Look, kid, he's having a rough day.
So come on, tell us, what do you do? Yeah, tell us, tell us, tell us.
Okay. Well, you see, I can make a pen appear out of thin air.
A pen? Does that look like a computer?
Okay, kids, let's move along.
Wait, I think pens are the coolest.
What?
Sure, think of all the times we said things on email or Twitter that we shouldn't have. That's true. It's easy to get mad and say things I regret. Yeah, I went online and teased people. I thought it was all just fun, but that's not how it came across. People were really hurt and upset. But what does that have to do with pens? Don't you see? With a pen, we can take some more time to write our feelings before we send anything. We can even decide not to send anything at all. Think of all the personal disasters we could have avoided. And punishments. So grounded for that stuff I said online. Enough people think I'm a bully.
Oh, do you... See, I told you that you still mattered.
Wait, you mean you can't just rush off angry messages without thinking of the consequences?
Sometimes. It's so easy these days. And when you sent it, there's no way to get it back? When you hit send, it's too late.
Do you feel better now?
I really do. If you think about it, pens represent polite conversations and thinking ahead. Even if you use a computer or a phone or a tablet instead of a pen, you should always think carefully before sending a message to someone.
Well, it appears here you all did quite well. I think we learned a lot today. But remember, this is just the start. You have to keep working on your social skills.
And as a reward, we are going to restore some of what you lost.
You don't mean... Yes, you can face people whenever you want, and that's because we trust you to use your power with respect. Booyah!
Oh, Info Blast, your new Sidekick Live will arrive next week. Delightful. I look forward to learning all about him or her. And as for the green pen, we will now have the power to produce pens and smartphones.
Yes! And for Captain Invisible,
You're going to fix my power so I can become invisible in humanity too?
well, you've never really been able to become invisible.
What? Are you kidding? Tell them! And you never told me? This is embarrassing. We are renaming you Team Captain, in charge of resolving all conflicts in your super grip. Team Captain, I like it. Okay, troops, let's review what we've learned today and go do some super things.
Social skills.
Social skills. We learned so many social skills. True heroes use their social skills to save the world.
Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. I am so proud of them. One more round. Right down in front, we will begin our leave ceremony for all of you that will be here for the leave ceremony. So, third grade, you want to sit right in the front.
Again, I just want to say thank you to my class. This was the first day they actually got to try it on stage, so I'm really glad, happy for them for figuring it all out and working it out. And again, I'm really proud of you guys, so thanks again. All right, now I'm going to recognize 6 of those lovely people to come up right now for their leaf in the Forest of Virtue. And that would be Carissa, Sam Fiorillo, Annabelle Brady, Hope, Mason, and Hannah Scary. My first leaf today is going to Carissa. Carissa is receiving this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for demonstrating fortitude, more specifically for showing more perseverance in class. I am so proud of how hard Carissa has been working lately during our math lessons. She is attentive, raises her hand to answer questions, and works hard on her independent work. Though the topics and lessons can be challenging at times, she is taking risks by offering her answers and showing excellent class participation. She has persevered through the challenges of MCAS practice and through the MCAS itself. It is because of this effort and hard work she receives this leaf in the Forest of Virtue today. Congratulations, Carissa. My next leaf is going to Sam Fiorillo. Sam is receiving this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for exhibiting justice day in and day out. More specifically, for being a good friend and always trying to be fair. Sam is someone who is very easy to get along with because he is so easygoing and has such a low-key attitude, just like our checker player up there on stage. Because of this, he has many friends and is well-liked by children and adults. He listens to others and treats all with respect. I appreciate Sam's efforts because it helps to make our classroom a better place. Thanks for being such a great friend, Sam. We love you. Annabelle is receiving this leaf today for demonstrating fortitude, more specifically for the qualities of strength and leadership she portrays. Annabelle is not one to sit back and let others stand in her way. If she has an idea, she will go with it, while often welcoming others. Recently in class, Annabelle had an idea for a story, The Bad Luck Penny. What started as a small idea evolved into a chapter book with 2 other co-authors, a table of contents including 8 chapters, and is well on the way to be the next compelling 3rd grade novel. I see other students very interested in this work in progress and are now motivated to write stories of their own. Annabelle, keep using those leadership qualities to make a positive difference. Hope is receiving this leaf today for demonstrating prudence, more specifically for her honesty, wisdom, and use of reason. I respect Hope for the honesty she displays with her friends and for her willingness to admit when she has made a mistake. Socially, I observe her often trying to make good decisions as well as go out of her way to help a friend in distress. Everyone needs a friend that is trustworthy and caring. If you are lucky enough to have Hope as a friend, then you have just that. Here's my little, what did I say you remind me of? George Clooney. Mason is receiving this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for demonstrating fortitude, more specifically for taking his role as advisor number 2 in our assembly today very seriously and working so hard to learn all his lines. Mason was one of the first actors ready and willing to practice in class without his script, while showing great enthusiasm and projecting his voice so we could all hear him. Mason, I hope you had fun with your role today. I know that I enjoyed watching you get into character as one of the very important advisors to our superheroes, and I am sure you will have many more fun performances in your future. Mr. Clooney. Hannah is receiving this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for demonstrating temperance, more specifically for the patience, self-control, and good manners she demonstrates in class. It has been such a pleasure getting to know Hannah this year, as I have watched her grow both academically and socially. She has been a strong leader, navigating through some very sticky social situations, and I am very proud of her for that. Hannah, I have loved hearing your stories about your nervousness before your gymnastics meets, and followed by your stories of success after the events. Though I don't have a medal for you to recognize you for all of your accomplishments in the classroom, I do have this leaf. So congratulations, Hannah. And here comes Mrs. Zuckerman. Thank you, everybody.
Boys and girls in Mrs. Palmer's class, I am so impressed with how you memorized your lines. Very, very impressive. I don't think I could have done that. Kudos to you. But I have my class to recognize a few students for. Vigna, would you please come forward? JW, please come forward. Jessica, please come forward. Aiden, Jack, and that's it. Vignon is being nominated in the Forest of Virtue for justice. The characteristic of justice Vignon is receiving this leaf for today is friendship, compassion, and kindness. During Science Club a couple weeks ago, I witnessed Vignon go out of his way to include a student in his group. Vignon did this without expecting anything in return except to make the student feel special and accepted. Vignon's inclusivity and support that have made a huge difference in this student being accepted by his peers, and the increasing positive attention this student receives now. While reaching out to this student, Vignon has been patient, understanding when negotiating the complexities of group cooperation. Vignon, you have the characteristics of a born leader. I am so very proud of you. I'm really proud of you. Josh Winokur, or as we commonly call him, JW, is getting this leaf today for justice and prudence. Josh is getting this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for both honesty and friendship. Josh is as honest as the day is long. He is the first to admit to be talking or fooling around. This honesty allows me to trust him when he is recounting a problem that has occurred at recess or in the classroom. Josh cares deeply for his classmates, making sure everyone is included and treated with respect. One of Josh's least favorite subjects is reading. But I am so proud of how much Josh has pushed through this and participates in literature circles. I have seen him completely engaged in discussions. I have so enjoyed having Josh this year. The last of the Jessica is being recognized for perseverance and friendship. Jessica is a quiet, sincere student who is a breeze to place in new teams each month because she knows how to socialize, knows when to socialize and when to get to work. She doesn't complain about teammates and gets along with everybody. Jessica is also being recognized for perseverance. Jessica has been working so hard this term, and I am so thrilled by the attention she gives during whole class instruction. She has been raising her hand and has been coming to the board to answer questions in front of the class. I love that she is putting so much effort into her work and taking risks coming to the board. It has been a pleasure to get to know you this year. The last Aiden, you're being recognized today for perseverance and self-control. I have enjoyed getting to know you, Aiden, this year, and I am so proud of how much you have matured. This past year, Aiden worked to exercise self-control over socialization and work completion. I have never been so proud of him and a student who has worked to achieve their goal. Very proud of you. As this year comes to a close, Aiden has come to internalize when he needs to make good choices. All these good choices is leading to Aiden earning many good model student tickets, right? I have loved having Aiden in class in the last of the years. Mariana, where are you, honey? I forgot you. Come on up. You were connected to Jack's kitty. Sorry, honey. Jack is being nominated in the Forest of Virtue for organization and self-control. Jack must be recognized for how organized he is. His desk and book box are always in order. Jack is also the first in the classroom every morning, and he makes sure his morning routine is complete before he goes to socialize. Jack has a 100% completion record for both schoolwork and homework. Every week it's turned in on time. He takes pride in doing the right thing at the right time. He is careful not to let socializing interfere with what needs to be done first. I've enjoyed you, Jack. And the last of the Haggertys. Last but not least, and not to be forgotten, Mariana is being recognized for her dedication to her studies and continuously doing a wonderful job with all her work. She takes her time to complete all assignments, often being the last student done. Mariana has been writing in cursive since the beginning of the year, and she puts my writing into shame. I also admire Mariana for her quiet, patient demeanor, which allows her the ability to remain focused with chaos all around you. You're still focused. I have never had to speak to Mariana to pay attention or make a good choice. It has been a pleasure having her in class this year, and I will miss her presence next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Palmer's class. I really enjoyed your performance today, and I can't believe how loud and how clear you were. It was so easy for us to understand what you were saying. And it's hard not to speed up and go too fast. That was great. I just want to say that the last Forest of Virtue Assembly we had was several months ago. And just before that happened, I asked my guys, I said, who's willing to wait till May for their leaf in the Forest of Virtue? So I just want to say that these children who are getting their leaves today had the patience to wait. They happily offered to wait, and that is one of the reasons why they're getting their leaves today. So could I please have Catherine McDonald and Andrew M., Chris D., Chris Davis, Lucia M., Macaro, Andrew J., Jolie, Gavin Wallace, and Abby Shoneman. Yes, it's here. Catherine McDonald is getting a leaf in the Forest of Virtue for justice. Catherine is a very kind and caring person. Should we talk about people that are less fortunate than ourselves, about natural disasters that affect people, or about anything like hurt animals, Catherine always wants to know what people are doing to make the situation better. Behind this quiet demeanor, mostly quiet, is a person who is very committed to equal treatment for all, and she does not keep her beliefs to herself when it comes to fairness. Catherine treats everyone with sweetness and respect, and if she thinks that someone else could be kinder, she speaks her mind. Catherine is a new big sister this year, and that little sister of hers, just like her classmates, is very lucky to have her good influence around. Congratulations, sir. This is Andrew M. Andrew, you're getting a leaf in the Forest of Virtue for temperance, specifically your sense of order, courtesy, and self-control. I feel so fortunate to have had this wonderful young man in my classroom this year. If I were to make a Venn diagram of students who never speak out of turn, don't complain about homework or our workload, do their homework thoroughly and bring it to school every day, and make a good solid effort on every assignment, Andrew would be smack in the middle of that Venn diagram. Most of these qualities seem to come quite naturally to Andrew, as he does have a very strong work ethic. However, as a gifted artist who is always seeking to hone his skills at creating fanciful creatures, it has definitely taken some self-control to refrain from adding to his art portfolio during lessons. I appreciate the temperance that Andrew has shown to stay focused, and I appreciate the efforts that you've made to increase your participation in our class discussions. Andrew, you've been a real pleasure to have in class. Hi, Lucia. Lucia and I, well, Lucia is getting a leaf in the Forest of Virtue for fortitude. Lucia and I have gotten to know each other very well this year. She goes courtyard every day, which means that she's often in the classroom at the end of the day for an extra 20 minutes after most students have gone. On many days, Lucia has used her time to persevere with tricky math problems, particularly with multi-digit multiplication and with long division. On other days, we have talked about school and life in general. I've hardly met a girl more determined to make you laugh, so I guess that's part of fortitude. But on the academic side, I've seen Lucia become strongly concerned about doing well in the classroom and on tests. Lucia has worked hard to get some very good grades this year and to create beautiful, solid written work. But when she gets a great one, she's always so surprised, as if she had nothing to do with it. What I hope Lucia has realized is that consistent effort will lead to the successes that this charming and bright young lady hopes for. Congratulations. This is a new student to our class this year in 4th grade, Chris Davis. Chris deserves a leaf. You're getting a leaf for fortitude. He deserves a leaf for fortitude or courage. It is not easy to start a new school at any time, but it's particularly difficult to start in the middle of the school year at a school where most of the students have known each other since kindergarten. In Chris's case, his sister already had been at our school for some time, so we did not even have a sibling to share that same new experience. Chris came to BFCCPS with a smile on his face and a genuine openness to making new friends. I specifically remember your very first day. Chris made sure to say hello to each student by name as they introduced themselves. Chris joined our class too as we were preparing for our big assembly of Canada. Imagine being asked to dress as a funky fisherman and walk down a modeling runway when you hardly know a soul. Not something most new students would be happy to do. But Chris did it. He did it happily and with grace. I admire your strength, and it will take you far, sir. Andrew, you're getting a leaf in the Forest of Virtue for justice. Andrew is a person who shows kindness and compassion to his fellow students every day. Are you feeling low? Andrew intuitively is there with a smile and a kind word. Forget your snack, Andrew will share. Need some advice on your artwork or help in actually drawing something? Andrew will use his not insubstantial talents to help you out without taking over. Need some help on morning work? Move in the direction of his desk and he will help you and let you work with him. Finally, if you're lucky enough to be as good as Gorilla, he will be looking to do your classroom job and send you a few chips. With his deliberate and random acts of kindness, I'm sure that Andrew has made his fellow students experience better days. I know that Andrew's reading buddy from 2nd grade has really particularly enjoyed the time he has spent with Andrew. Andrew's very sweet with him. It is not surprising that Andrew was the first to offer to get his leaf in the Forest of Virtue in this last batch of leaves. That is so like Andrew with his truly gentle and kind spirit. Congratulations. And this is Gavin Wallace. And Gavin, you're getting a leaf in the Forest of Virtue for prudence. Gavin is a student with whom I've spent many hours. Again, as a member of the courtyard crew. Gavin is a bright, kind-hearted, friendly student who loves to have a good time with friends. He is careful never to hurt feelings, including, I've noticed, to the point where he does not ever boast about getting good grades on tests, which you often do, perhaps out of concern that friends who might not have done so well will feel bad. What I really appreciate and want to highlight today is Gavin's growth and awareness of good and bad times to socialize, and his willingness to live by those limits in the classroom. The good choices he makes helps me as the teacher keep our lessons focused where they need to go, and enable him to be the active, serious participant in class discussions that benefit all of us. I've also noticed Gavin making better choices about what activities are appropriate in a smallish classroom filled with many people, if you catch my drift. Gavin, you will always have friends, so don't ever worry about using your academic time wisely as you have been. Congratulations. Abby's leaf has dog bones on it. Abby deserves a leaf in the Forest of Virtue for fortitude, specifically perseverance. Abby is a very bright student, but at the beginning of the year, I don't think that she recognized her abilities as much as she should have. So, when faced with a difficult problem, she might shrug her shoulders and say, I'm just not good at this kind of thing. I never see that attitude anymore. Abby digs into all sorts of problems and gives them 100%, not 110. Okay? We've talked about there's no such thing as 110. She agrees. She was one of the last students to be done on the Math MCAS, not because she didn't know what she was doing, but because she was determined to do her best. I love it when I see Abby furrow her brow as we are discussing literature, thinking deep thoughts about the stories we have read. Her contributions are always the result of a sincere effort to move our discussions forward in a serious and meaningful way. I have truly enjoyed having Abby in class and watching her grow. Mrs. Dwyer.
Good morning. I know that every teacher has said this so far, but third graders today, we're fabulous up here, and I can't wait to meet all of you and have some of you in my class next year. You did an amazing job. So, I have 6 students to recognize, 1 repeat because there was a little mix-up the last time. So can I have Kylie come up, please? And Vita, come on up. Peter, Anika, Amulia, Michael, and Abby. This is my friend Kylie. So there was a little mix-up the last time we had an assembly, so we're just redoing her leaf again for you. So she's progressed so much from the beginning of this year, okay? Even from the last time to now, she's continuing to progress. She has improved academically as well as her presentation skills in front of a group. At the beginning of the year, she wasn't so sure about getting up in front of the class, but one specific incident where she was first to volunteer to come up for her Canada brochure, and she could not wait to tell the class about it. So at that moment, I knew that she was comfortable, she was confident, and she was progressing so much since the beginning of the year. She stood so confidently in front of the class, and she was proud of the work that she did, as she should be. She's become such a confident young lady, works very hard, and asks for help when she needs it, as well as participates in class discussion. So I'm so proud of you, and I love having you this year. Congratulations. And Vita's receiving this leaf today for exhibiting justice. This is a character trait she not only shows in our classroom, but throughout the school day wherever she goes. She's a very caring person who is aware of other people's feelings. She works hard to make sure her friends are okay, and she always volunteers if they need someone to talk to. In recent situations, there have been some conflicts among the girls in the classroom, and she was a great leader. She helped sort out the issue that was happening, as well as gave great advice to those that were involved. She took the brave step and apologized directly to a person affected without having to be prompted or asked by a teacher. She is a great friend, an excellent leader, and I love having you in class. This is Peter. Peter is receiving this leaf today for exhibiting fortitude. In social studies, we've been learning about the Middle Ages. We've started creating living history journals where the students take us back to the Middle Ages and tell us about their life. Peter knew he wanted to be a knight, but he wasn't so sure if he knew exactly what a knight did in the Middle Ages. But as soon as this project was assigned, he got to work, started researching, and he's written, how many pages is it?
Somewhere near 8.
Like 8 or 9 pages for his journal. So he is a student who I sometimes can't get to stop because you just want to keep writing. And I'm so proud of how hard he's been working. Any chance he has a free moment, instead of wanting to play a game, he's like, can I keep typing my story? I'm so proud of his work on this project, and I cannot wait to read the finished product. Good job. I love having you in class. Switched it up. Okay. This is Michael. Michael is receiving his leaf today for fortitude. He has made some amazing progress since I first met him in August. There were some subjects, writing in particular, that were not his favorite. I knew he was a great writer, but it was difficult convincing him that that was true. There were a few circumstances where he may write a few sentences or just kind of wait for the perfect idea. But now Michael takes a close look at what the assignment is and really tries his best. If he cannot think of what to write, he'll ask for help, and we can plan it up together. He's done such an amazing job improving his writing, and once he finds the topic he's going to write about, it's hard to get him to stop. I love his enthusiasm, and I'm so proud of how he persevered through the challenge that writing can be, even for me too. And I can't wait to continue to see him grow. Excellent job. I love you. This is Anika. Anika is receiving this leaf for exhibiting temperance today. She is one of the sweetest young ladies you will ever meet. She comes in each morning with a smile, greeting you with a happy good morning. She's very organized, and she's always double checking to make sure she's putting her work in the correct folder or turning it in when necessary. She's a very diligent student who works hard on every assignment she's given. Although I strive to give only the most exciting projects and assignments, sometimes they're not as fun as I think they are. While the majority of the class may be groaning that they have to get started, when I look over at Anika, she already has her pencil out beginning that assignment. She's an absolute joy to have in class and a role model for the rest of the students. I have very much enjoyed having her. Amelia is receiving this leaf for Prudence. She's a hardworking young lady who always comes to school ready to learn. Whenever I look around the classroom, she's either ready to listen for directions or working hard on her assignment. One specific quality I admire about Amelia is her humility. This means that she cares about what is right, rather than following along with the crowd. This can be difficult, but I can always look to her to do the right thing. This quality is something that a leader possesses, and I look to Amelia as a leader in the classroom. Her dedication to her schoolwork will certainly lead her down some amazing paths, and I've very much enjoyed having you this year. And last but not least at all is Miss Abby. Abby is receiving this leaf for exhibiting fortitude. She is a bright spot in the classroom, and not just because of her neon clothes that she wears. Always bouncing into the room with a smile or a funny story or guess what happened to me the other day. One specific thing I admire about Abby is that she perseveres through any challenge she is faced with. It doesn't matter if it's a difficult math problem or social studies concept she doesn't understand, she will not quit until she solves it. She's also a student who, even though she has finished her assignment, she will take it one step further and extend her thinking. Sometimes it's hard to get her to stop working, which is a great quality to have. I know Abby is on a great path that will lead her to amazing opportunities, and I love having you.